Jesus did something amazing in Matthew 17. Just stay in this place. He did something amazing in chapter 17 of Matthew. He takes his closest companions up on a mountain. And he's literally transfigured before him. And there's this sort of new kind of glory. And on this mountaintop, it's sort of a crazy parallel picture to, Moses and Elijah appear there. These are major, major men of faith. And there's the law and the prophets standing right there with Jesus. And Peter, they're terrified at what they're seeing. This is an unbelievable scene. Of course, we look at it now and we see that something was changing. Something was changing about the glory of God. Something was changing. This was so different than Moses going up by himself to meet with God, right, on the mountain. Jesus says, I'm going to have my friends come with me. And then they get up there, and the glory, it's not shining on Moses, as Paul tells us, where it would fade away. But there's like this freedom in it. There's this completely different sense that this glory is coming out of Jesus. It's something that's more eternal. It's something that isn't going to just fade away. And I told you the other night, if you were here, it's like when Adam and Eve fell into sin, they did what I like to call it the unworthy game, like the shame game that sometimes we play with God. Even today we do this, and it's like they fall into sin, and they're naked and they're ashamed and they're hiding behind the bushes, and God comes to walk with them in the garden. And I remember when I read that, and I'd read it many, many times, but when I read it one day, all of a sudden it dawned on me, kind of living in our culture, even in our Christian religious culture, especially in America, we're sort of, even in some of our worship, it's like God is the one that's distant and we're the ones that are waiting on Him, right? Somehow God is the one that, it's like if we were rewriting the story today, this is how it would go. Adam and Eve fell into sin, and they came out for their daily walk with God in the garden, but God didn't find them worthy to walk with Him, so He didn't show up. And Adam and Eve came out in the garden that day, and there they were in need of their walk with God, and they cried out, "Where are you, God?" That's how we write it today. But that's not the story. The eternal question has never been, where is God? The eternal question has always been, where is man? I've come to walk with you. I want you to come and take my hand. I want you to come and let me lead. And I don't want us to miss that in the Transfiguration account, but I don't want to take too much time on it because I know I want to get back in worship. But this account where Peter gets this amazing idea. There they are in the mountain. And Peter says, "Whoa, you know what we should do, Jesus?" He's like stepping away. We should make tabernacles for you guys. We could make tabernacles for you, Jesus, and for Elijah, and for you, Moses. And before he can even get the words out, the Bible says that this rush cloud comes pouring over them, and they drop to the ground. It's just like, and they hit the ground, and they hear this voice from heaven, and it says, "This is my son. Listen to him." And this is what Jesus says. Don't be afraid. Get up. Don't be afraid. No. Don't be afraid. Get up. As if Jesus is saying this. Enough. You're not going to play this game anymore, Peter. You're not going to distance yourself from me and then blame me for the distance. We're not playing it anymore. I have not tried to distance myself from you. I don't want to be distant from you. I want to be close to you. I want to take your hand. I want to take your hand. Do you want to take my hand as much as I want to take your hand? I don't think so. You don't want to take my hand. I want to take your hand. We're not playing the game anymore. Don't be afraid. Jesus is even shifting the concept of fear from this sort of false, unworthy, shame game, false fear game, where in the end we want the distance because we want the control. 2, I want you to discover real fear. Because if you fear him, you're probably going to listen to him. If he's really that big, then probably what he says is important, right? You're going to be listening. You're going to be looking. You're going to be searching. You're going to be holding the hand, right? And that's what Jesus says is, no. You're not going to tabernacle me so you can come for a visit. And all this stuff. And read the before and after passages. It's so important today. Read it. It's awesome. It's humanity, guys. It's me and you. This is what it is. It's Jesus, you don't have to really suffer and go to the cross and die. Blah, blah. Get behind me, Satan. Or get behind me, spirit of humanity, or spirit of the age, or spirit that wants to tell me what real glory looks like. What I want to show you is I want to show you the glory of resurrection. I want to show you the life of the creative. I want to show you the way that will make you not afraid when I want to take you to another mountaintop, but there's no bridge. Because Jason, I didn't make bridges. You made bridges. I made valleys. And I'm in the valley. I want to see this. You could just stay here, Jesus. And then we don't have to learn about all this. I don't even know what you're talking about. Shh. Listen to him. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. No. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of all this stuff that you make up as fear. I want you to walk into your fear, to walk into your pain. And the longer you run away from your pain, the more your ego or your false self is going to be elevated. And the more you run into your pain and run into suffering and run into death, you'll continue. If you're creatively up against a wall, the more you run into that, the more you run in. Don't run away from it. Run into it. What happens? What happens is this. What happens is it's a step down. Why? Because the valley isn't to be feared anymore. Because it's not the place to die. It's the place to come and grow. It's a place to learn. It's the place to discover. But we're terrified of valleys, and that's why we plateau. The mountaintops aren't the place. They're just a place so you can see where you've come and see where you have to go. In life with Jesus, I mean, it's like, this is the crazy thing is, once you get up to your first mountaintop in life, you're like, oh man, that was amazing. I mean, it's really like just it's like, I'm not even through a couple of them. Some of you older could preach this way better than me. But it's like you get up and you're breathing heavy and you're like, and there you are. And then you look over the top and it's like this giant mountain range in front of you. And Jesus is like, yeah, that's where we're going. That's after you first let go of your molehill, your little tiny hill that you think is a mountain, right? And it's like Jesus is like, just trust me. Oh. Of course, I grew up in the 70s and 80s, so I'm like always thinking about, how everything in spirituality relates to like, Indiana Jones, It's like, and if you just push the right lever in the mountain or the hill or the rock, pull the right thing, this magic bridge will appear. I remember that first time Jesus just said that to me. It's like, Jason, how you know God's speaking to you? I mean, not always, but generally, if you Google it and don't find the phrase anywhere, I'm kind of kidding, but I do that sometimes. I'm like, is that you, Lord? But I remember when it was like, I hear this in my spirit. I never heard that before. It's like when you listen to your kids, like a 4-year-old or 5-year-old, they'll say something that you've never even heard the concept before. It's so original and they're not even trying. And kids are so original, they won't even repeat their originality. Because they don't even know how to standardize how creative that was, right? And so there it is. Bridges are man-made, Jason. I made valleys. Come and walk with me. The sides of the mountain, that's where all the life is, right? That's where you eat. That's where the fruit is. The tops of the mountain, they just define your journey. And and what do we want to do? We want to distance ourselves from God and then blame God for the distance and then sort of lock ourselves into these things that we think are mountaintops, but they're really just hills. And Jesus is saying, come on, take my hand and walk with me, because I want to give you something new. I want you to grow. I remember I wrote this in freedom to dance, freedom to sing, freedom to grow. I'm telling you, Pharaoh, let God's people go. I remember I never realized it. See, freedom to dance and freedom to sing, I mean, you can almost make denominations out of that stuff. But freedom to grow, oh, that's the curse word. That's the word right there. Freedom to grow. Ooh, if you're a person that you're free, you feel the freedom to grow. I just want to say that over you, actually. You know that Jesus gives you the freedom to grow? This is almost, as it's coming off of my tongue, are you feeling that? It's almost like, wow, like the freedom to grow. But Jesus is actually giving the church the freedom to learn something new. Wow. Yeah. This almost sounds simple, but when I'm saying it, think about the way we practice it. He's giving us the freedom to grow. What happens when you grow? What happens when you grow is that you look less first. If I want to learn the guitar, I'm not going to start at the level I'm at on the piano. What do I have to do? I have to have the courage, right? To go and be less. If you want to grow, It takes courage. So I pray that for you right now. Jesus, you want to make us people that not only take your hand, but actually are afraid of the thing that we should be fearing. And the fear that we should be, the thing that we should go up against is all the fear that keeps us from taking your hand and growing. You want to deliver us from the right fear and release us into the right freedom. And being in control of my own destiny is no freedom. And fearing what you have for me, and fearing death, and fearing all these things, that's the real freedom. Jesus, you want to take us from the boat with the wind and the waves, and you want to take us into the garden, and you want to change it. You want to show us how to be afraid of what you're afraid of, and how to have freedom in what you are free in. Lord, we ask for that. We want to walk with you. We want to walk with you, Jesus. I want to take your hand. See, when you take his hand, then see where you are at is this. There's no roadmap for you. Because nobody's ever lived your life before. Your story's never been told before. To truly be holy is to let God finish the story he started in you and not get your hands in the way. And we can get our hands in the way by trying to copy other people, even other people in the Bible. But when we take the hand of Jesus, this is the way it is. The first thing that happens is it breaks down, and I'm afraid to say it, in America, this is a huge idol. And it impedes us from really, truly following Jesus. One of our biggest idols is the idol of certainty. We have to know where we're going. We got to know. I remember when I started first following Jesus, in that way, I mean, I've been a Christian my whole life, but I first started following Jesus, like in taking his hand as a real, living, resurrected being. The first thing that happened was exactly what happened to Saul. First thing that happens is you fall off your horse and you are blinded by the truth. Do you ever find yourself stunned in the middle of the day by the living presence of God? You ever find yourself stunned? Whenever it's real, usually it's when things are sort of like, oh yeah, I knew that. Yeah, I like that. You're reading a book, and it's really, at the end of the day, when you really think about it, it's like things that you agree with, right? But when you're really stunned, you're not like, by the real living truth. It doesn't come to you and you go, oh yeah, I've been waiting for that. It's more like, in fact, in some ways, you may be resistant, you may be angry with it, you're frustrated at it, but the living, real truth always blinds you before you see it as truth. in shifting the way we see. Seeing with the eyes of the heart or seeing with the eyes of imagination. It's totally the opposite of seeing, right, just with our eyes that we've sort of... So I wrote this, I just said, I don't know where I'm going. I've been blinded by the truth. Between the graveyard and the garden, there's a road that leads to you. There's a road that leads to you.